Well, alrighty. Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories, and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I say it every day, wherever you're watching the live stream this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. Now, of course, we do not have a hit from Brad this afternoon. We do not have a weather segment on Before the Four today, but don't fret. We have First Alert Weather Extra that is streamed every single day at 9:30. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis, he'll be back here in the CTV Center, and he'll have all the latest that he's seeing on the radar. We also have our 4 o'clock newscast and our 5 o'clock newscast on air as normal, but at 6, we will be doing a live stream wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon. We have the NBA tip-off going on starting at 6 o'clock, so that will be what is airing on NBC. And we're also going to have a later 10 o'clock show. I think our 10 o'clock show will be beginning around 11:30 tonight due to our NBA coverage as well. So just wanted to let you guys know. But of course, at 6, you can watch it right here, wherever you're watching Before the Four, and we'll have Weather Extra as planned. You're just not going to want to miss it. But now let's head into some of the day's top stories, and let's begin in Limestone County, where a person was killed. Oh, I do not have that clip there, but I'm going to read this here. In Limestone County, where a person was killed in an early morning wreck on I-65. Now, Limestone County Coroner Mike Wuest, he said the incident happened near Bibb Garrett Road just before 5 a.m. this morning. Officials say the truck the man was driving crashed into a guardrail. Huntsville police officials identified the man as 45-year-old Todd Underwood of Falkville. Huntsville Police, Huntsville Fire and Rescue, Aaliyah, Huntsville Madison Rescue, and Himsey all responded to the wreck, but such a tragic incident there. But now let's head into a story in case you missed it, and you've already got a bit of a preview there. Family and friends of the 3 Huntsville natives killed in a plane crash in Montana over the weekend are speaking out. 48's Callie Neese with more.
Delisa Locke told me she has known Misty and her family for about 30 years. And when she heard they lost contact with the plane, she was in shock.
My heart went to my stomach.
These are photos of Lainey and Ellie shared with us by friends in Lainey's former volleyball team. Mark was an experienced pilot, and Locke told me he was a great guy, and his daughter Lainey was a flight instructor and an Auburn grad. Mark's younger daughter Ellie was a senior at Huntsville High School and a dancer. Locke says they will be greatly missed.
They were just a tremendous family and a tremendous asset to this community, and they're just going to be greatly missed. I mean, it's 3 very bright lights that we lost, and you know, I just have to continue to pray for Misty.
The Powell County, Montana Sheriff says the plane crashed Friday in a very remote area of the Bob Marshall Wilderness where there is no cell signal, adding that afternoon the plane dropped off the radar. The plane crash scene was found on Saturday morning. All 3 were pronounced dead on the scene.
And as the mom, I have 3 girls. I'm married, and I can't imagine. I mean, a lot of tears this weekend among the community. It's just hard to fathom.
A vigil will be held here on Wednesday at the Milton Franks Stadium at 6:30 for the Andersons. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And since then, the Anderson family has responded to this incident. You can see it right here on our website, WAFF.com. But the Anderson family said, "We would like to express our immense gratitude for the love and support shown to our family in the wake of the devastating events that transpired over the last few days. Mark Laney and Ellie Anderson were fatally injured in a tragic plane crash not far from their destination in the Bob Marshall Wilderness of Montana late Friday afternoon. Mark reported engine trouble shortly before the plane's signal was lost. At the time, we don't have any further details as to the cause of the crash and are allowing the NTSB to conduct its investigation to the fullest. Mark was an incredible pilot and loved his most cherished passengers more than anything. Now, as a family, they are working diligently to get all of their loved ones back to Huntsville, where services will be held in the coming days. This is an unimaginable loss for Misty, Mark's wife, and the girl's mom. And we would ask that our privacy be respected as we try to begin the process this tragedy. We find peace in knowing heaven gained 3 beautiful angels full of light and having lived their lives to the absolute fullest. Mark Laney and Ellie have left the world a better place just being in it. And of course, a vigil will be held Wednesday. Again, that is tomorrow at 6:30. The vigil will be held at Milton Frank Stadium. And you can go to our website to access this web story right here for more details about that vigil. But such a sad incident all around there. And of course, 48's Callie Nee, she'll be continuing to follow up on this situation coming up in our evening newscast, so make sure to stick around. But now moving out to DeKalb County, where a massive tire fire took place late last week near Kilpatrick. Will Eldridge with more on that fire.
People from miles around could see the huge plumes of smoke coming from Union Lane, about 5 miles south of Kilpatrick, on Friday. This video of black smoke is coming from thousands upon thousands of tires burning. Marla Jones from the DeKalb County Emergency Management Agency tells me she saw over 30 years worth of tire collecting all burning at once. She says it took at least 9 fire departments several hours to get the fire under control.
We did not know at nighttime exactly how much damage that it was, but when daybreak came and we saw that it was very well contained, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief after that.
Jones tells me there is a no burn order in DeKalb County, meaning it is illegal to burn right now, adding that tires are dangerous to burn due to the smoke they create. She says the Alabama Department of Environmental Management is investigating the fire.
And it could have been so much worse, but the Forestry Commission come in and did the fire line and contained the fire. They turned over the ground, but this cleanup will last, it will probably be weeks and into months before it will get cleaned up.
Now, I reached out to ADEM for comment, and they say that they are still investigating the situation and have yet to decide on proper enforcement. Reporting in Fort Payne, Will Eldridge, 48, on your side.
Now, that is certainly something you do not see every day. But now we're going to head to break, but coming up, Tennessee Valley Elementary School students receiving free smoke detectors after the death of one of their classmates. And another story you're just not going to want to miss. It's all ahead. We'll go through it all in 1 minute. All right, break time is over. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, all Cedar Hill Elementary School students have been offered free smoke detectors after the death of one of its students. 48's Noah Cowell with more on this story.
Kindergartner Jaden Daly has been gone for nearly 2 months since a fire took his life, but his desk at Cedar Hill Elementary remains his and his alone. Principal Adams says she couldn't sleep the night after it happened, knowing she needed to do something to ensure no other student of hers experiences the same fate.
How do we make sure that all of our families have an escape plan so that they can meet up safely? And the number one thing was making sure that every home had a smoke detector.
To do that, Ardmore Fire and Rescue is coming right here next Thursday for Cedar Hill Fire Prevention Day. More than 600 students have been given a form ahead of time so they can identify who needs a detector professionally installed.
At first, I didn't even think about how expensive that the smoke detectors are. I didn't think about the fact that so many people, they don't change out the batteries because they don't think about it. And now these have the 10-year life batteries and that they're put in the correct spot in their homes.
Alabama Fire College reports the state consistently has one of the highest annual death totals from fires in the country. After installing over 30,000 smoke detectors in homes the last 3 years, they say deaths have decreased.
A tragedy becomes a calamity when we fail to improve ourselves or learn from it. You definitely want to make sure that sleeping areas, when we're at our most vulnerable, are monitored, protected, and the equipment's working like it's supposed to. And that's what this whole program is about.
Now, they hope Cedar Hill will be a blueprint for all schools across the state to keep every single student safe.
The principal very astutely said, not another child, not on her watch.
Now take a look at this. A group of young ladies is taking girl power to a whole new level. Mackenzie Martin hits the mat in Mississippi to find out how they're changing the face of combat sports.
Back up.
We at Missy, we have 3 goals. We want to recruit, retain, and release women into the sport of wrestling, but we're developing them as leaders.
And those leaders are created right here at American Top Team, where Missy Wrestling Club holds practice 4 times a week. Megan Brown started the club back in February, hoping to give girls the equipment and dedicated space to learn the sport of wrestling. Landry Robert says this offers girls the opportunity to take part in a primarily male-dominated sport.
The boys maybe having their tournaments and more nat time, and actually at tournaments, sometimes the boys would take over on nats. So there'll be a section girls mat and they'll take it over. So we're gonna have less time on the mat, and they don't prioritize us. They definitely prioritize the boys.
That's what Brown is wanting to change, as she hopes to show these young girls that they can succeed at wrestling just as much as the boys can. She says while on the mat, sure, the girls learn how to take down their opponent, but they're also gaining general life skills, and most importantly, they're building a team.
Girls join wrestling for a little bit of a different reason than young men. Girls join because they want to find a place to belong. They want to be confident in themselves. They want to build community. They want friendships. And I can say there's no friendship like the friendship that exists in girls' combat sports.
In July, Addison Mullender returned after wrestling some of the best girl wrestlers in the country. She currently holds 2 state titles for her weight class. She started wrestling 7 years ago and says this began as a way to prove that girls can do what boys can, maybe even better.
I wanted to get into it to make a difference in my life and for others. Girls could do wrestling, and we could do things boys could do. So I wanted to see how it would help me and stuff. It's nice to get into it and have a little change. So.
Currently, there are less than 75 women wrestlers in the state. Members with Missy Wrestling Club say they hope to see that number triple on the coast by the end of 2026.
What I'm talking about. And now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. The murder trial for a man accused of shooting and killing a motel owner in DeKalb County. 48's Aria Pons will have more on that. Another murder trial in Morgan County. Faith Delp will have those details coming up. And finally, a feature on the Veterans Memorial Museum. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. And now, you guys know what time it is. It is, of course, time for Facebook fun and our 48 Facebook question today. What is something you used to do when you were younger but don't anymore? And let's see what you all had to say about that. I am genuinely curious to see what y'all had to say. So let's see. Hula hoop, that is what Crystal Price said. Me and you both, Crystal. I actually was a really good hula hooper growing up in elementary school. I went for the school record of longest consecutive hula hooping. And I think the school record was like 8 hours or so, and I actually qualified for it, and I hula hooped for 4.5 hours until eventually I just got thirsty. I was hungry, so I just stopped and went to lunch instead. But me and you both, Crystal, but now I don't even think I could hula hoop for 30 seconds, honestly. I think I tried it the other day, and I was like, maybe, if I was lucky, I got 15 seconds of hula hooping in before it just fell to the ground. But yes, me and you both. Looks like Keith Chadwell said party. Keith, you are never too old to party. The party does not stop. Thank you for commenting, Keith. Debbie said roller skating. It's been a long time since I've been roller skating. I actually took an ice skating class in college, but I don't think I've roller skated since I was probably in middle school, honestly. We already got Crystal's comment. Let's see what else y'all said. Deborah Glass said jump out of swings. I remember those days. You would get the swing going high enough and then you would jump out. Those were some good times. I am not trying that today. I think I would come home with a couple broken legs. Karen said run. 100%. I ran the Liz Hurley ribbon run this weekend, and after about a mile, I was like, all right, I got to stop and walk for a couple minutes. Yeah, I do not run like I used to, and it's honestly kind of sad. Colin said water ski. I feel that. I've never really been big on water skiing, but I went kneeboarding over the summer, and I used to kneeboard all the time growing up on a lake. And this past summer when I tried to kneeboard, let's just say the next 3 days I was so sore. I couldn't even work out that next day because I was just so sore. My entire body was sore. So I feel that 100%. Looks like Rebecca Gann said climb trees. That's another really good comment there. Awesome comments per usual from you all. You guys always have awesome comments on our 48 Facebook question. But y'all, that is just about all the time I have for today's Before the Four. I'll miss y'all tonight, but y'all have a great night. Enjoy tonight's evening newscast. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.